Hey, I'm Alex with Marcs Mobility, and in this video we're going to go over the new version of the IQ 7000 by Comfygo. So if you've seen the IQ 7000 before, this is their newest version that just got released, so there are going to be some updates over the previous version. So if you do see anything in here, do notate this is what they are going to now ship like. This unit is going to have a 350-pound weight capacity, which I believe they increased over the original version. So it is going to be a 350-pound capacity. And another awesome thing that they did is they did allow you, and it does come with spacers that you can put in between the arms. So if you've seen some of their other models, they used to have a standard version and a plus size. This would be a similar concept, but it is only going to be the 7000 auto fold, but it is going to come with spacers, so that it is going to increase the overall width in between your armrests. And I'll get into some measurements here shortly, but I want to tell you the reasons why people like this chair. So this chair can come in different frame colors. So you can see we have a bronze frame and what they call their Taba cushion, but they are going to have a handful of different frame colors and quite a few different seat color cushions as well, so you can kind of customize the chair to your needs. Another thing that makes this unit really unique is the unit is going to also fold. So you are able to fold the unit through the joystick on the chair or on the wireless remote that all of these chairs are going to come with. So you can see that you can do that right through there or right through the hand remote that I'm using right here in my hand. So having that auto fold feature is going to be pretty awesome to have, and you can also then drive the chair from this, and I'll show you more at the end of this video, some driving demonstrations with the joystick and with the remote itself. Now the unit with the battery in it is going to be 69 pounds, so this is going to be a heavier unit. So if it is something that you like, do notate it is 69 pounds. If you pull the battery out, it is only going to be 64 pounds, but once again, that's still a little bit heavier. I preface that as well as because we do sell kind of 4 to 7 foot telescoping ramps that you can then drive this up into the back of an SUV or a minivan. So if that is a little bit heavy for you, there are a few type of ramp options, but this is going to be a little bit better cost than some of these really light carbon fiber units on the market. This is going to be probably around that $2,000 price point and under currently on the market. But just notate that yes, prices do change, so do look down below in the description for our link to our website, and it will have more specs on the chair, and it'll also show you the different frame and cushion options, and then also what the current price of the chair is. Now there are two different battery options on this chair. You can get an airline approved battery, or you can get a full-size battery. Now you can always purchase a secondary battery and swap them in or out, but with the full-size battery, it says up to 26-mile range. I like to be hesitant when I see a range of that distance, especially if somebody's 350 pounds in the unit, but that is going to be 26 miles on a charge with the full-size battery and about 13-mile charge with the airline travel battery. So I like to tell everybody, if they were to say 26 and 13, I would like to say maybe 20 and 10. You know, something in that range is a more realistic driving range, because that's going to be in ideal conditions, and most people are going to be stopping and going for reference, kind of like driving in the city as compared to driving your vehicle on the highway. So most people are driving this like in the city where they're stopping and going, which is going to take more power to get the unit moving over and over again. Now another enhancement that they did make on this unit outside of the width is when this unit is folded, if you've had one of these before, you had to literally take the battery out and set it on the ground and then fold the unit, because when it was folded, you could not remove the battery. But now with this new version, we did test it, and I'll show you here in a second, you can fold it and then take the battery out. So you are able to easily get it down to 64 pounds with very minimal effort. Now on the unit itself, it is going to go about 4 miles an hour on a top end speed. It is going to have a new LED display, which is nice. It's going to show you your miles per hour, your battery gauge, and then also what speed that you are on. So before, it did not have this LED display. It was more like a VSI style joystick, which was just the LED lights, but this is going to be a digital display now on this new electronic system that they put on the unit. Now I'm going to get right in and I'm going to kind of go over some of the specs on the unit as well. So we added the spacers already, which are these black spacers that you can see here. Before, we had about 18 inches in between the arms, give or take. When I added the spacers to this, we're about 21 inches in between the arms. So that was sometimes, I believe it used to be a 330-pound weight capacity and only about 17.5 inches in between the arms. So realistically, most people that were in that upper 200 to 300 pound weight range really weren't going to fit inside a 17.5-inch distance in between the arms. But with the spacers now, you are at 21 inches in between the arms. Now, I want to mention as well, if you add the spacers, your arms are going to be wider outside of arm to outside of arm. So you're going to be just under 26 inches of overall width. So you will see some of the specs that say 24 inches. That is without the wheel space or without the spacers in between the arms. It is 24 at the wheelbase. So you would know, just notate, you would need at least 26 inches to clear any type of door opening that you're trying to drive this unit through. Now the seat cushion is not going to change. That's going to be standard. It is going to be a 17 by about 18 inches deep of a cushion. Same with the backrest. The width of it is about 17.5 inches. And the height, just depending on where you want, to this part of the cushion, you're at about 15.5 inches. If you went all the way to the top where your back still would be supported, you're about 20 inches right there. Now, armrests on both sides do flip up. You do have this little red tab that you can push in. A little bit of obstruction. Doesn't stick out too far for your arm support, but it is going to be something if you are slide transferring out. Make sure you scoot a little bit forward so that doesn't poke you in the back. It is going to have these little small arm bags that you can carry and attach that you can put maybe your cell phone or your wallet in as well. And then the foot plate here in the front, there's not going to be depth adjustability on the foot plate, but there is a couple adjustments for the height of the foot plate. So how it ships from the factory, from the foot plate to the top of the seat, you're about 16 inches. And from the ground to the top of the seat, you're about 20 inches. So just notate, yes, you could maybe get that to 15 inches, top of the foot plate, or you could maybe get that down to 17 inches because there are going to be about 2 different holes of adjustments on there. But the seat to ground height is not adjustable. That is going to be 20 inches overall, top of the seat to the ground. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to turn this on with the remote. So basically you hold the power button for 4 to 5 seconds till you see the button lit up green. And then you are able to drive this from the remote as well. And when we first tested this, when Comfygo came out with this product, we were getting about 60 yards before the wireless remote cut out. So you can actually get a pretty far distance. I also want to mention as well is the chair has to be on to be able to pair the remote. So this is not a unit that you can turn the chair on from the wireless remote, because sometimes people ask, hey, can I go park that in the corner and later on in the day turn it on from the remote? No, this only does work with the joystick on, and then you can turn the remote on. But I also want to mention as well, like I said, it is at 4 or 5 second delay. You have to hold down the button before your green light comes on. And then you can obviously, on the remote, you can do your speeds. You can go up and down with your speeds from here. And then you can also do your folding, which is down here at the bottom. You can see how it lights up green if I hold the bottom button. Don't worry about the B, the R, or the L that's on here. This is a remote they use for some of their other chairs, such as like the X9, which does have like a recline and electric legs. And so that's why these buttons are on here, but these are not going to be functional buttons for the IQ 7000. But once that is lit up, then same thing, you are going to have your up and down arrows, so you are able to fold the unit, and you're also able to drive the unit, and then it's actually a relatively good size or good sound that comes out of the horn. A lot of times it's a really faint beeping sound, but that is a louder horn as well. So that is something people kind of complain about in the industry of, hey, that horn is almost useless. I would say that is going to be at least 2 or 3 times louder than a standard horn on a lot of power chairs itself. So in the back of the unit, you are going to have 2 motors. They are 250 watt brushless motors in the back. And if for some reason you wanted to push this chair around, you can push both the levers up and then you're able to drive the chair. So I do know that it is going to beep at you and give you a C4 error code that's basically telling you your motors are not engaged. But if you did have this on, it is going to create some resistance. So you could kind of use this as an aid for if you still want to have some mobility, but you kind of want to hold on to something and try to walk to kind of keep your muscle legs, the strength in your legs. You are able to use that if the power's on. If your power is off, then it's in a true freewheel mode. So just depending on what application you're looking to use this in, that is a way that you can disengage the motors to kind of have resistance while pushing behind it, or to have it in a true freewheel mode. Just notate both of these red levers right here in the back do need to be in the down position to be able to drive. And in the back, you're also going to have your anti-tip wheels. It is going to have a little pull lever right here, and then you can adjust the depth of these anti-tip wheels as well, so you can have them all the way in, or you can slide those out. but we do recommend that you do keep those on there, so if you go up a really steep hill, it would help prevent you from tipping over backwards. You are going to have a seatbelt on the unit, and then you are going to have little shocks here in the back. But what I want to show you is kind of how you can remove that battery. So once again, turn the unit on. If you want to fold the unit from the joystick and you don't want to use this, you will see a fold and unfold button on the left and right at the bottom of the joystick. The left is going to be to have it in the driving position, and the right button is going to be the fold. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the bottom right button for about 4 or 5 seconds till you hear that. You're going to see a picture of your seat light up. Now I have to do it quicker because what you're going to do is you're going to hit that button for 4 or 5 seconds, and then once you see the seat lit up, then you're going to hit the horn. So I'll show you that now. You'll hear this longer beep, and then it is going to begin to auto fold the unit. Now through the joystick, you can stop it at any point. Where it's on here is just fold or unfold, but through the joystick you can begin to slowly fold it and then stop. Now I don't think that's possible through the actual electronics on the unit, but you are able to do that from the hand remote. So now here's what's the difference as well. You do have a little silver locking pin that you do have to loosen, and then you can pull the power cable out. And on the back of the battery over here as well, there is going to be a tab on the side. You can't see it here because it's on the mechanism. There's a little tab. But the battery is able to slide out. Now this is the travel battery. It's 12 amps, so it's a 288 watt-hour battery. So this is going to be fully approved for all types of transportation. Just notate the other one I think is 26 amps, so significantly higher. Not going to be airline approved, but this travel battery is airline approved. So now, right now, we are going to be at 64 pounds with the battery removed. And you are able to then, I believe, stand it up in this position. And then once again, it is 64 pounds. So it's not a lightweight unit, but you can stand it up. You can tip it back a little bit on the anti-tip wheels and roll it around. And obviously if you had your unit in freewheel mode, so your drive wheels are unlocked, then you could kind of have it in a standing position and kind of roll it around as well. But this is what you're going to look like in the folded position. In this position here, your overall width's not going to change, so it's either going to be 24 inches or it's going to be 26 inches if you have the spacers on there. But what is going to be also consistent is going to be the height of the unit. So with your joystick on the unit, it's 35 inches in height. Joystick is very easy to remove. You do have a little pin here that you can twist and undo the joystick. And then this knob, you can slide the joystick off as well. And then your highest point is going to be your backrest at about 29 inches in overall height. So just remember, joystick on about 35, joystick off about 29 or 35. So just depending on how you're going to transport this unit. And then from front to back, or if you were to lay this flat, you're about 16 inches in height. So just imagine if this was in your vehicle here, 16 inches off the ground. So if you do have a topper in the back of your truck or different things, 16 inches is what you need for this to be able to slide underneath whatever object you're trying to load this into. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to slide the battery back in. It does go right from the back right here. And once again, this was an enhancement that they did not have originally on the unit. So on the original unit, I was not a huge fan of taking the battery out because you used to have to put the battery on the ground, slide it out before you folded it, then fold it, and then disconnect it. But now you are able to do it while the unit is folded, remove the battery. So that is a nice enhancement that they did put on this unit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on, hold my pairing button again as well till it lights up green, hold the fold, touch the fold and unfold button down there, and then from here you are able to use your up and down speed buttons to begin to unfold the unit. To be able to drive the unit from the remote, go ahead and hit that again, the fold button, so that nothing is lit up down here, and then you are able to drive the unit around. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drive this outside and do a little demonstration so you can see what I look like sitting in this unit. So go ahead and follow us out there. All right, so what we have here is the new and improved IQ 7000 Auto Fold. So this unit here is going to have about a mid 45 to 47 inch turning radius. I believe it was 47 inch turning radius, which is still not bad for a rear wheel driven unit. Rear wheel drive just means your rear tire is going to be where your power is in the back of the unit. You are going to have solid wheels all the way around on the unit as well. These look like about 7 inch tires in the front and about 12 to 13 inch tires in the back. So it is nice. They are considered a run flat. What I do want to show you as well is if this remote is on, you will see a little red Bluetooth symbol. Then this joystick is disabled. So if you are a caretaker, you want to walk next to your loved one and you want to be able to control them, they are not able to override it with this joystick. Old versions you could, the newer versions you cannot. So once this is on and you see the Bluetooth on there, it is only activated through the joystick. Now I see about 3.6 miles an hour top end speed. I know they say 4 miles an hour. Some of the chairs you could hold the up and down speed button and program it a little bit faster, but with me currently it's about 3.6 miles an hour with just from the factory of how it comes. So we might have a video later on too of showing you how to increase the speed if possible, because they did mention 4 and I'm getting about 3.6 miles an hour. But this can be useful as well because you can hold this in your lap. Comfygo's told us some stories of somebody that didn't have any arms and they were able to drive this with their toes. So that's a pretty cool thing too. And also just fatigue of having to have your arm out here. Some people want to keep their arms like this in their lap, and you are able to do everything on this chair right through the joystick. So now my last test I like to do is just kind of go take it in a little bit of grass surface to see if it can perform out there. So go ahead and follow us over to the grass and we'll see how it does there. All right, so we always like to do a little driving demonstration out here. Now this is flat grass, such as a soccer field or baseball field, but you can see this is still gonna handle in grass. I'm about 210 pounds, 6 foot tall, kind of give you a reference of what I look like sitting in this chair. But even from a stopped point, if you do wanna turn, it still does turn. Some other units you have to kind of go at more of a 45-degree angle, but you can see how I'm able to sit here and rotate. Now once again, sandy bottom, loose gravel, things like that, that might be different. You might have to hit that more straight on if it's going to go through those surfaces, but it is going to have pretty good power with the 250 watt brushless motors on this unit. So if you are looking for a unit that is going to auto fold, that is going to be custom colorized, I'd go ahead and take a look at the IQ 7000 by Comfygo.
Hi, I'm Marc.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marcs Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you and have a wonderful day.